Hey everyone, this is Elias from RevMatch Media, and today we're going to be taking a look at the 2025 Hyundai Elantra N. Now, we've already done a review of the manual version and the automatic, and we have it for a third time. And this one, yes, this one's the automatic. I know, you guys let me know in the comments, but I figured let's go ahead and take a look at all the things that you get to make this a possible everyday car that you could take out on the track. Some of the cool tools that you get with this. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Now, before we get started, I do want to mention that there is no model change between the 2024 and the 2025. So it's literally the exact same thing. So if you maybe find a better deal on a 2024 that's kind of leaving the dealership, you may want to grab that to save yourself a few bucks. That's if you could find some of these, because these things are hot. So now, what I want to go ahead and show you guys is some of these things that really make this Elantra N a great everyday, fun, driving, engaging, just vehicle that is not just your A to B, but your A to B and C and D and E and F, because you want to keep driving it. So that's what I want to show you guys. Now, kind of to get started a little bit, as far as some of the advantages we get with the N over the standard Elantra, we are going to get some aero pieces. They look cool. I don't know how really effective they are compared to the standard one, but yeah, we do get some aero pieces that are a little bit different with the N model, and I'll kind of show you guys on the side as well and in the rear, but yeah, that's kind of what we get as far as differences here. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's under this hood. We get started by getting under the hood, and we have the 2.0 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine cranking out 276 horsepower and 289 pound-feet of torque. This is connected to the 8-speed wet dual clutch automatic transmission, and then going to the front wheels. This is where the Elantra N really starts, is the engine. And this 2.0 is incredible at delivering the power. It has such a fun power torque curve that it's just, yeah, the grin that you get on your face, which is a little bit of a hint as to what we'll see inside with how this works. Is just incredible. I love it. The turbo feels really nice, pulls really hard. The power down to those front wheels are just incredible. There's a lot to it as well. So not only do we get obviously the engine and the turbo, but the transmission, the dual wet clutch, it is just fast. It is just going one after the other, and those shifts are hard and they feel really, really good. Now, yes, we do have the manual version, and don't hate on this. Don't hate on this, because this is going to be the faster one. Yeah, this is the second time I'm saying it. This is going to be the faster one. The manual is the more engaging one. So if you go through a lot of stop and go traffic, again, as an everyday vehicle that you want to take out on the track, that kind of thing, get the automatic. Get the automatic. You won't hate yourself being stuck in stop and go traffic with that manual. Now, if you don't mind that, then go with the manual. Yeah, you're not going to be as fast, but it is really engaging system. So what I'm trying to say is you can't go wrong. That is the big thing with this. Now, there are some other things you get with this. So yeah, there's a list of things that I want to make sure I catch. We have the end corner carving differential. So the electronic limited slip differential, which is incredible. This thing rotates like no one's business. This thing gets the power down like no one's business. So that thing is a magical unicorn. Yeah, there's no short way of kind of describing it, because it feels that good. Let's see, what else do we have? Yeah, I mean, that's we have the N grin control system, which we'll take a look at. Yeah, that's why I said you'll have a big grin on your face, which is just a little bit kind of like an overboost of things. And you guys were telling me on my previous channel, on my previous video of this is, oh, you didn't use it. I didn't feel like it was much of a difference for it, but then again, I was just having my own grin without it. So you don't really need to use it to get a smile on your face, but we'll try it out and see how that goes. But yeah, that's kind of what we get with the Drivetrain. This thing is so good. It's spectacular. So let's go ahead and take a look at those wheels and tires. We get down to the wheel and tire package, and we have this nice 19-inch wheel, and it is wrapped in the 245/35 Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tire. Now, a couple of things with this. Yes, we do have a big wheel, and we do kind of have a little sidewall, but yeah, this performs excellent. So again, I love the black wheel, especially against the red, and it's a beautiful design, big open face as well to really, you know, let some air cool into those brakes. And speaking about brakes, these things excel. The pedal feel to it is top notch. I've been in some performance cars that I wish had the pedal feel to the brakes that you get with this. When I build my driving sim, I'm hoping to simulate this brake pedal feel. That's how good these things are. And it's good in the automatic version and in the manual, because sometimes you get different behaviors or different feels to those pedals from an automatic version to a manual, but not with this. So this excels really well, and the performance of the brakes are exceptional as well. And then we have the tires, which again, we have a high performance tire for everyday use, but also for the track day. And of course, you can always get different setups. You can get aftermarket wheels and have your track day and also your kind of everyday daily. But if you just kind of want to get out of the dealership and maybe take it out an autocross event or maybe on a track day event locally, it's going to perform really well. Love this setup. And then we have the electronically controlled suspension, which has been exceptional because you can really make it bearable for everyday use, or you know, tell it, give me everything, give me all the feedback that you are experiencing up into the cab. So I love this setup. It's when I heard, oh, I'm getting an Elantra N again, usually you're like, oh, this again? I was like, yeah, this again. I was excited. So love the fact that we have this setup. And in the rear, we also get a multi-link rear suspension, which gets this thing rotated even more. Oh, and we also have a little bit of a secret in the back. So let's go ahead and head back there and see what we got. We get to the back and we get a couple of goodies that I really like about the N model. So we do get the rear spoiler, which I think it looks cool because it's not just a straight through spoiler. We do have kind of a jagged or kind of folded sections here, which I think looks awesome. And then we get the exhaust. We get the sport exhaust, and it does have variable valves, so you can definitely make it super quiet or go super loud, which I really love. But remember I told you guys there was a secret? If you go ahead and open up in here, I'll show you, we actually have a rear suspension brace in here, which is awesome. I love the fact that it's in the red too, which was a big surprise the first time that I had an Elantra N, that I opened up the trunk and I'm like, whoa, where did this come from? And I was wondering if this was for every Elantra, and it's not. So this is gonna be for the N. So love the fact that we have that little thing right in there. So yeah, let me go ahead and show you the different exhaust sounds that we get with this. So we're gonna go ahead and turn on the car. And that is with the normal exhaust. Let me go ahead and rev it with the normal. And now I'm gonna go ahead and put it in sport. Definitely a little bit throatier. And now I'm gonna go to Sport Plus. definitely getting some backfires on that. We take a look at the steering wheel, and this is where a lot of the stuff is going to happen. So first, let's acknowledge how good this is. So it feels really nice. I love the dimpled material here, and then the softer parts on the top, and then more dimpled on the side. And it feels really good. I can place my hand in there, and the cutout is really nice for my thumb placement, as well as we have the paddle shifters on the back. Since this is the automatic version, on the left hand side we're going to have your infotainment system for buttons for obviously volume up, volume down, track up, track down. We get this little star, which we'll talk about. We get the N mode button or the N button on the left, and then we get one on the right as well. We get the N green shift button right there, which if you have, this is because you have it in automatic. If you have the manual, this will be for rev matching, so you can have it automatically rev match for you, which was really nice. I like that. And then obviously we have our settings for our gauge cluster and our cruise control with the paddle shifter right back there. So what I first want to go ahead and talk about, and if you press and hold the N button, it is going to take you directly in the infotainment system as far as the button of where you are going to want to be to change the setting that we get for that. Now we get an array of different options. We have left N button, we have right N button, we have custom button on the star, which is this one right here, and then we have the custom button on the steering wheel. So we have that little star on the left hand side, like I mentioned earlier. So yeah, there's a lot of great tools that you could use with this, and so I'll show you all the tools and maybe how I would probably want to set it up. So we have the so as far as the left N button, we have the options to go into N mode, which is the, yeah, when I press it, we're at the extreme. We can see that we have the engine to the max, we have the steering to the max, and we have suspension to the max, as well as the traction control is in sport. We have, you know, all of this, it goes to the full max mode of everything. And then you can also press it again and it will activate your custom 1 setting, which we'll take a look at how to adjust the custom 1. We also have the option to set it to your custom 2, so you can have maybe your left to custom 1 and maybe the right to the custom 2. We can also have it change the drive modes, set and record, start and record lap timer. We have end and reset lap timer. So those are the options we get with that. And then obviously that is going to kind of follow on the other side. We can also just set it to be custom, to a custom mode, instead of having to toggle to N and then to custom for the right button. So they're going to have slightly different things as well. So then custom button on the navigation is going to give you these different options, which I think we will set this to, let's keep it in N mode. Yeah, I kind of want that there. That should be fine. We'll do that. And then custom steering mode here, we'll also leave it in N mode. Actually, we'll do this one, we'll just do media on and off. And then for the custom button on the steering wheel, we're going to put it to N mode. Now when you're in the main home screen and you press the N mode button here, it's going to give you this. So it's going to load up and it's going to give you all this telemetry, all this information we have here, which again, if we were in home and let's say we were in radio, so we were in your media and you have music playing and you press the star button. When we press the star button, it's going to go ahead and switch that to your N mode. So this is great in case you're wanting to just be in your media and listening to your music, and then when it's ready to get to the track, you go ahead and you press that little star to turn on or open these up. And now we have the option of when you press on one of them, it's going to show you the individual parameters or the information for that. And I can go ahead and just see that data that is being changed on there. Obviously, we're not going to see much of a change with that, but we can see here that we're capturing the oil temperature. So we have that there, and we can have it set to dual gauges. So you can have this information showing you, you know, your relationship to maybe throttle and brake press. So we have that. So if you're hitting the brake and then the gas or the throttle, you can see that information is showing it to you right then and there. It's great. It's a lot of great information. And again, we can go to oil temp and then you have that set up there as well. So really cool that we get all these different tools on this. Now, if you swipe over, remember those custom 1 and those custom 2 buttons that I mentioned? Yeah, here's where we get that. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and set up custom 1 as my kind of sportier street version. So I want to have the engine giving me full power. I want the steering to be really responsive. I want the limited slip differential to be sporty. Traction control, yeah, we can do that. We'll be loud with the exhaust, and the transmission, let's make it normal. So I want to have a little bit of a street, but not super aggressive. And that's why I'm going to keep the suspension like that as well, to have a little bit of a maybe slightly canyon carver, but not to the full extreme. And then I can go to my custom and just, yeah, change it up. Maybe I want the suspension to be super stiff, but everything else kind of like that. I don't know. Whatever your heart desires, whatever your driving feeling desires, yeah, you have that option on there as well. And then we have the launch control that we can go ahead and activate, and it lasts, like it says, 5 minutes, which we'll look into that soon. But yeah, that's kind of what we get with this. And when we go to the options, we can tell it, you know, how much we want the RPMs to be, and we can set up a shift light with an alert. So we have that option as well. And then we have the N power shift, which, like it says there, enhances acceleration, performance, and direct drive feel with optimizing shift response. Available in Sport Plus transmission mode. So we have that. And N-track sense shift, just like it says there, we're able to automatically activate the appropriate shift programs when dynamic driving is sensed. Automatic creep, yes, this is kind of what we kind of will need to have, where it'll prevent the vehicle from creeping forward when you take your foot off the brake while in drive. If you don't want to, you know, it just personal preference as far as that goes. And then we can be a little bit kind of, you know, cheating and put some sound in, give you more motivation to have some fun with it. But yeah, that's what we get with the N modes. Now let's go ahead and take a look at something else we get in the gauge cluster. When we take a look at the gauge cluster, we have the option of going over to the little checkered flag, where we're gonna have some tools that we can work with here. We can see your G meter there. We can see your oil temp and your engine temp there, the turbo PSI and the torque value. And then we have the lap timer. So here we have lap timer that we can go ahead and just push down and hold to reset. And when you can do this manually, or you can do it, have it do it automatically with the GPS. As far as you doing it manually, it's just a matter of pressing OK on the wheel, which you'll probably be doing on a straightaway anyways. And then when you go to do the next lap, you go ahead and press OK, and it switches you over to the next lap. Now take a look at what happens when I'm done with my second lap. I press it and it gives me the differential. So I was 0.46 of a second faster on that second lap, and then it continues to the third lap. Let's see if we can get it. Yeah, 10.5. So let's see if we can get the fourth lap at about that 10.5. See how consistent I am with my finger. Oh, I was pretty good. So we almost got the same lap. So consistency is key. So that's how you do it with the, you know, the button. Again, here, that's all you got to do is press that OK button. So this actually presses in, and we get the next lap. Now that we have all those tools, let's put them together. And we're going to start by putting the Elantra in the N mode. So we are completely in N mode, max everything, engine, steering, suspension, you know, electronic stability control, or, you know, the ESC in sport mode. We are going to put the transmission in our manual mode, so we use our paddle shifters. We are going to press my star so we can get the N mode things on here. Now we've gone ahead and we set up our launch control to be at 3,000 RPM because of the road here. That was a good RPM to kind of get it going. And we are going to put the N grin shift mode on. So we'll go ahead and launch it, and away we go. And we are going to use the shift light as well that we can program so that we know when to shift this. And this thing feels so good. It just turns in so well. That mid-corner turn-in is just spectacular. The downshifts feel real good. Yeah, the initial turn-in is spectacular. You can get this thing rotating. It's just, yeah, there's no, yeah, the N-Grin shift mode is no joke. You guys were right. This thing will definitely shift harder. It feels like it boosts harder, and the brakes feel spectacular. They definitely are inducing, confidence inducing to get this guy stopped and get the mass to the front to go ahead and get it rotated with that limited slip differential that just feels spectacular. Yeah, this is an unbelievable vehicle. Now we've gone ahead and we've set up our race box. It's our telemetry box for our 0 to 30, 0 to 60, lap timer, drag timer, all in one box. Great little device, great company to work with. I'll go ahead and include my link in the description for a possible little discount. So we are going to make sure that we are still in N mode. We have our launch control active. We are going to go ahead and maybe give it a little bit more revs. I feel like we still kind of, activate it. Let's give it maybe 3,500. See if we can get a little bit of wheel spin, but not enough to slow us down. And we have that set. Now let's go ahead and we will put the N-Grin shift as well. And let's go ahead, activate that. I'm gonna keep it in drive mode. So okay, so let's talk numbers. We're dealing with 0 to 30 in 2.25 seconds and 0 to 60 in 6.02 seconds. Now, I can probably get the numbers a little bit faster if we go ahead and just give it a little bit more wheel spin, because I feel like there's so much more grip that we can do with that. But this vehicle isn't about just that fast 0 to 60 time. It's about everything else it can do so well. I'll switch it back to manual mode so I can control the shifts in this section here. But it is just spectacular at getting the power down and the power to where you want it to go. It just, yeah, it felt like it was gonna understeer there a little bit, but you tug at the wheel a little bit more and it says, okay, that's where you really want to go, and it just goes. This thing is spectacular. Yeah, this is unbelievable at how good this thing responds, and you could really get it into the curves and then just get on it. It just responds so well to whatever you want it to do. Now, the other thing I wanted to do is to just be an everyday driver. Be an everyday driver. I can put my media back on. I can listen to my tunes. I can drive this on an everyday basis for going to the groceries, going to work. And that's what makes the Elantra N such a great vehicle, because you can do both of them, and it's such a practical vehicle as well. With it being a sedan, you have a big cargo area in the back. You know, back passengers are going to be comfortable. You're going to be comfortable. Again, you don't have to be in the super aggressive drive modes. You can just be in this. Yes, it's going to be a little bit noisier because I feel like there's some thinning in insulation on the door, so we get a little bit more road noise. You know, the tires as well, just suspension. So it's not as plush as maybe the other trims are, but it's also not as fun as the other trims aren't as fun as this is. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed my review of the 2025 Elantra N. And remember, find the right gear. But first, make sure you put it in N mode. See ya.